So I'm here at GDC and I'm finding out about a new Swedish indie game that looks unlike anything I've ever seen before. Can you tell us what is Cloudbuilt?
Okay, so Cloudbuilt is an action platforming game. You control it pretty much like a third-person shooter with the WASD keys and the mouse, but it plays more like a classic platforming game like Mega Man or Sonic, but in 3D. So the game is very much geared towards encouraging you to start speedrunning things. So maybe you'll have some issues and struggles in the beginning, but as you grow as a player you will start to take braver routes and more bold routes and most likely faster routes. And then you'll get to the point where you can really start to speedrun things, which will start to be shaving off seconds, balancing how much energy you have to use your abilities, like the wall runnings or the jumps and dashes, for instance.
Sort of made me think of the challenge maps for Mirror's Edge, but on steroids or something.
Yeah, that's probably some likening. We've had other people compare it and calling it something like Mirror's Edge with jetpacks. We've taken more inspiration ourselves from older classic platforming games, but we're still flattered. We really like Mirror's Edge as well.
So can you tell us a little bit, the visual style is just different than anything I've ever seen. What's the thinking there?
So the thinking was that we wanted something that really looked unique for the game. So we took some inspiration from games like Valkyria Chronicles and things like, and they have this more brushed-like style. So we had a technique, we got inspired by how they solved it and started to apply this. It also helped us from a gameplay perspective, because if we had gone with a more realistic style, this could look really strange. But all things being cartoony and light-hearted and over the top, it just fits.
And is there a story here? Is there a setting? Is there a context to think of? Or?
Yeah, sure. I won't go too much into details because part of it will try to be to figure it out. But the initial setting is that you play as Demi, who is a war veteran that's been hurt somehow. So let's not go too far into the details here. You'll figure it out pretty much from get-go, so it won't be that spoilery. But I'd rather say too little than too much.
What is this world that you're sort of traversing?
The world is pretty much... now I'm starting to go into the theming. Much of the story of the game can be read between the lines of the game. So if I say too much about what the enemies are or what the worlds are themselves, you can kind of start to get pieces of the puzzle that I might not wish to say right now, actually.
Okay, keeping it quiet for now. What's the plan? What do you want to do with Cloudbuilt? What's the road ahead?
The road ahead is first and foremost to release the game. After we release the game, we want to patch it to get it to the level where we're happy with it. I mean, you can't get in everything you want usually at release. That's the case with every game. But we really want to get those things that should really belong to the game should just be patched in, perhaps. That's the internal discussions anyway. And if we want to add additional content, we may add like DLCs and things. But that should also be additional valuable content.
So, but what's the time schedule? Are you planning to release it soon, and what kind of platforms, or what are we looking at?
The game is for PC only, and so far it's mouse and keyboard that we support. It's got a release window kind of soon, but I won't announce a date until I'm super sure we'll hit it. It's not that very fun to be looking forward to a date just to see it slip. Yeah.
So I would imagine though that it would play kind of well with a controller as well. Is that something you're looking into?
There have been a lot of requests for that during this conference, so I will bring it back to the team, we'll discuss it, but I can't say anything right now.
And are you looking at other platforms, or is it PC the platform of choice?
That's sort of the same answer as the question before. It really has to do with how many people wants it and if we find it realistic to do. But right now we want to maintain a laser focus on PC.
And because this is a studio that I've not heard about before, can you tell us a little bit about the background and where you come from?
Yeah, sure. So we were most of us were University of Skövde students before, We went to different classes and programs, but we kind of knew of each other. So we started up this studio after school and sort of found each other on the way and started to form this group. Since then we've of course had people coming and people going and things, but we're to a large degree the same group of people.
And is this your first game, or is there anything else that you've released?
Yeah, this is our first title. Hopefully not the last though.
All right, it looks very, very interesting. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Cloudbuilt is currently in Steam's greenlight process. Help us make this game available on Steam by heading over to our greenlight page and giving Cloudbuilt your vote.